My name is Carson Cloy. This is my speech on what society needs. Here's my audience. And my speech is titled Instantaneously Falling Behind. Facebook, Google, YouTube. What do all these various programs have in common? Well, even with a mediocre internet connection, all of these sites or apps give you immediate access to anything you want in the world. Intriguing, isn't it? What if I told you that having so much information at the tip of your fingertips is not a blessing, but a curse? You might look at me appalled and wonder what's going on in my head. But with all these new ways to get connected, I fear that America is becoming soft and will one day produce a generation that cannot go without a screen in front of their face. Think of a time in the recent past that you were bored and didn't instantly think to grab your phone or turn on the television. It's hard to think of a time, isn't it? I don't blame you. With all the he said, she said on Facebook, and the endless possibilities of information just waiting to be accessed on Google, we all seem to want to know more and more, faster and faster. But where's the line drawn? Where do we stop and just imagine, think of new ideas that aren't fed to us through a spoon? Their answer is, there is no line. We never made one. We will never stop promoting instant access to younger generations, and with that, we are killing off any ideas that they might think of themselves. When you are watching a television show, scrolling through a newsfeed, or even listening to music, you are not allowing your brain to think for itself. MedicineNet.com wrote an article published May 10, 2010, discussing how technology affects the way that children learn. Children who spend more than 2 hours per day watching television double their chances of being diagnosed with an attention disorder. Also, these startling facts show that parents who expose their babies to more than 3 hours of television a day increase the probability of their child being obese, bullied, or less intelligent by 40%. These are the numbers that concern me as America moves forward with a bigger and brighter. However, this can all change. I know that we as Americans can persevere through this struggle and get back on the track to bettering our lives and the lives of the ones to come after us. See, what society needs is not a flying car. Society doesn't need a robot that will do all of our chores. That would be a nice luxury. But what society needs is the American spirit to come back, reformed and better than ever. Society needs a generation that isn't afraid to get their hands dirty to accomplish the job at stake. I think JFK said it best when he stated, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." This is America's cry. This is what sets us apart from all the other nations and puts us ahead of the curve. Look back to World War II. Think of how Americans came together and persevered through a struggle. Women stepped up and took the place of men-only jobs. Americans also went through food and resource shortage to help the cause of the war. Fast forward now to September 11th, 2001, a day that still stings at the hearts of many of Americans. After that day, Americans had a new sense of pride and came together. We turned our heads from what drama was going down in small-town USA and looked to join hands to tackle these goals. I say now that we as a society should take matters into our own hands. No longer will we be zombies attached to media devices, but instead we will learn and realize that while these luxuries are nice to have, we should use them appropriately. So next time you find yourself bored on a car trip, think of the impact you are creating on your brain. Think of the example you are setting for the younger generation. But most importantly, think of the American spirit. Think of our forefathers creating the greatest inventions in the greatest nation in the world. They knew when it was time for innovation, and they didn't figure it out by staring at a screen. The end.
Very good.